Back here in New York, and for the first time ever, two women are leading the largest fire and police departments in the country, the FDNY and the NYPD. Laura Kavanagh became the city's first female fire commissioner just last month. She was acting commissioner since February. She's also one of the youngest in the department's history. And earlier this year, Commissioner Keechant Sewell became the first woman to lead the NYPD and just the third black commissioner in NYPD history. Only on CBS Mornings, they join us for their first joint interview. Good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
It's a big deal, both your positions. I want to get to the historic nature of them. But first, since we just had this coverage out of Colorado Springs, this tragedy at an LGBTQ nightclub, Commissioner Sewell, I'd love to know, are there threats that you're monitoring right now in the New York City area?
Anything that happens across the country that horrific, we monitor, and we want to make sure that we have our assets in place to be able to offer comfort for our communities. We've had some incidents in Hell's Kitchen, which are causing us some concern that we have a number of resources devoted to as well. So we work well with our communities. We want to make sure that they're safe, and we certainly believe that we have the resources to be able to do that.
Let's talk about the work and the resources. You to oversee budgets in the billions, tens of thousands of people, 30,000 officers, tens of thousands of firefighters, as well as EMTs, EMS, inspectors. What does it mean, starting with you, Commissioner Kavanagh, what does it mean to you to be in this role, the first woman to hold the position?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot to me. I hope to inspire other people to see themselves in positions that maybe they had never thought of before. I hope it opens the door.
Yeah. What I think is fascinating about you, Commissioner Kavanagh, I emceed a thing for the fire department, and all the guys at the table were telling me she's acting, but she should for sure have this job. And what I learned is that you went there on a temporary basis, Commissioner Kavanagh. You were only supposed to be there for, where did you come from? You're only supposed to be there for a short period of time.
I was in the mayor's office about 8 years ago, so.
And we should also point out, just to clarify here, I mean, 98% of the fire department is male, right? And about 80% of the NYPD?
Yes.
But not the leadership.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
And Commissioner Sewell, how does it feel to thrive and be respected in such a male-dominated industry?
I keep saying that I think we need to begin to normalize women in these roles. While these appointments are historic and we don't take them lightly, the work we do is what matters. And we cannot be the last in these roles. But believe me, I thank every single day the men and women of the NYPD. They are truly extraordinary. And the fact that we've been able to get the support that we need to do our job means a great deal.
Do you feel added pressure, either of you, because you know people are watching, because of your gender, because of your race, in your particular case? Do you feel added pressure?
I would say not pressure, the spotlight.
Yes.
That's definitely
Spotlight is
shining on
bright.
us all the time. It is bright and it is hot at times.
Yeah.
Commissioner Kavanagh, to get into a policy question here, scooters are all over, these electric scooters, all over New York City. They're all over cities across the country. And there's been a bunch of fires tied to them. I think 6 people have died, according to your department. There have been more than 200 fires. Do they need to be regulated in a new or stronger way?
So we're working with the mayor's office and the federal government to actually look at exactly that. And the federal government actually recently recalled a number of items that we had pointed out. So definitely we're looking at better regulation.
And Commissioner Kavanagh, you were not a firefighter, and some people are thinking, how can she run the fire department if she hasn't been a firefighter? You don't see that as a detriment, though, to what you do.
I don't. I run big things. I've been a fixer most of my career, and there are a lot of people who run these organizations who don't come up the ranks. They're huge organizations. I think of myself as an advocate for our members and a CEO of a large corporation.
Commissioner Sewell, Tony mentioned headlines. The safety of people here in New York City comes to mind, especially in the subway. What are some of the things that you might be heading to help people feel safe in this city?
We all know the subway is the lifeblood of this city. We all depend on it. I took the subway myself as a child. We recognized there were some challenges in the subway, so we surged thousands of officers into the subway. In cooperation with our partners in the MTA, we've started making announcements on the trains to let people know that there are police officers riding the trains and there are police officers on the platform. Also, when the train pulls into a station where there is a transit district, you will know that because there's going to be an announcement that says that. We recognize that people feel safer when they see an NYPD uniform. People just completely exhale when they see a police officer.
Right.
So having that omnipresence, having those people in the subway and the officers engaging with the public is important.
Are there a lot of plainclothes people on the subway?
There are people you do not see in uniform that are on the train.
That's very good to know. I've heard you say, Commissioner Sewell, that this is a full circle moment for you because, they describe this as one of the hardest jobs on the planet. You call it full circle, but you can't imagine Was it something that you sought as a young police officer? Did you seek this position?
I sought the next thing. I
Whatever
always
the
sought
next thing
advance.
was.
Whatever the next thing was, whatever the next test was, whatever the next challenge was, I was up for it. And I think both of us are up for this challenge. Those lights may be hot, but we're ready for them.
Oh.
And Commissioner Kavanagh, you said you only came there temporarily for the fire department. 8 years later, you were still there.
Yeah.
Why did you still stay? What is it that attracted you? What did you like about it?
I mean, it really is such an amazing organization. You know, the men and women who do this work are so extraordinary. You see it in some of these recent events, the roof rope rescue a couple weeks ago. I think you can understand why, if that's what you see every day, no matter how hard the day in the office, they inspire me. They keep me going.
And did you two know each other? Do you hang out and say, God, can you believe what is happening and so and so? Did you two know each other?
We did not know each other before this journey, but we have become friends since.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Can imagine, I would love to be a conversation. I'd love to sit down at lunch with the two of you.
I think that could
Deal.
be
You
arranged.
can join us,
you know,
yeah.
What y'all are talking about.
That's a yes. Commissioners Kavanagh and Sewell, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Appreciate you
much.
being here.
Thank you for your time.